Girlfriend's lazy ass is asleep upstairs, so I'm doing the video here in the confines of my fireplace room, and I didn't want to wake her up because I'm a nice guy. Anyway, I want to talk about the Carolina Panthers game, Monday Night Football against the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia, and then I want to end the video talking about Tony Romo and just something that I feel really needs to be addressed and put out in public, and might not exactly be what you're thinking I'm going to say about him. Anyway, this game has me nervous. Has me nervous for a lot of reasons that have absolutely nothing to do with the quarterback situation here in Philadelphia. Mark Sanchez is taking over as quarterback, and that's all there is to it. There's no what if Nick was playing tonight or anything like that. Nick is injured. Stop with the comparison shit. It's time for Mark to go out there, do his thing, see if he can excel in a Chip Kelly programmed offense. Hello, New Dog. New Dog is off camera just staring at me, like expecting me to give him a treat or something. Good boy. Anyway, Mark Sanchez, and when people hear me, like, saying, like, the Sanchez is here or anything like that, I don't want you to get the wrong idea and thinking, like, he's going to be, like, Peyton Manning in the pocket or anything like that. The guy is a turnover waiting to happen. Granted, Nick Foles was also a turnover waiting to happen. I honestly feel that Nick Foles did not warrant to continue to keep starting based on his play this year. And that's just me. But you know what? All that's aside, because Mark is going to get his chance to prove what he can do in this offense. And as far as this game goes, limit Mark. Limit Mark. I mean, because let's be realistic. I know people are going to be like, I don't know, I want to see what he can do if he's given a full-out palette of throws that you see someone like Nick Foles get. I'll tell you what, I will be perfectly satisfied if I see no more than 20, 30 passing attempts from Mark Sanchez and 30-plus touches between Sproles, McCoy, and Polk. I'd rather see the three-headed running offense attack keep shoving the ball down the throats, because someone like Carolina can be beat just running the ball. Now, when we get to that Green Bay game, okay, you can't just beat a team like Green Bay just run the ball, but Carolina you can, because let's be realistic. Carolina's playing some bad football right now. 8 camel toes, we've had our little rivalry going back and forth, hyping up this game, going up to this game, and, well, one team's dragging their feet into this game, and one team is one of the better teams in the conference. And, I wish there was, more of a rivalry here, because I've been talking back and forth in these football videos with 8 camel toes after all these years. We had this big rivalry game between the two teams, and, well, kind of sort of rivalry. It's not like they play each other every year. But anyway, hey, Camel Toes, good luck to your team, but I think my team is going to kick the shit out of them. But I am still nervous. And the reason why I'm nervous about this game is everyone on sports talk radio and all the national media outlets has been so set on just talking about Nick Foles and how much it's going to hurt or help that he's not there. Because I can tell you right now, the biggest thing, and frankly, the above all everything else I'm concerned about, is the loss of DeMeco Ryans. That is something that you can't just plug a guy in off the bench and replace him with. As far as what Mark Sanchez can do as a quarterback, he can absolutely do everything as good as Nick Foles can. Well, comparatively to this year, Mark Sanchez on a bad year can do exactly what Nick Foles did this year so far. So you're basically replacing a piece with an equal piece or potentially better piece. With DeMeco Ryans, you're putting Matthews in. Look, I've not been a big Matthews fan, excuse me. And I know he played for Oregon, and Chip Kelly coached Oregon, so that means they're going to work well together. Now, granted, Cody Matthews has played better this year in a limited capacity. Now you're going to be put in a situation where you have to see this motherfucker on the field damn near every snap on defense. Here's hoping Michael Kendrick steps up his game, because we're going to need it. He's already playing on a bum leg as it is. And we're going to expect guys like him to step up. We're going to expect someone like Cody Matthews to come in and just step up and all of a sudden be a relevant linebacker in this league. That's what has me so fucking concerned, because this defense is really clicking right now. And yet DeMeco Ryans is the quarterback of the defense. He's the guy that yells out the play calls anytime he sees some sort of play action breaking down or anything like that, tells the defensive line what to do, and they move on his actions, or they enhance their movement on his actions or reactions to the plays that's going on. And you can't just plug and play a piece like that. I'm not saying he's like Lawrence Taylor or anything that they're losing on the team or anything like that, but he's a key piece to why this defense was doing so good this year, and that really concerns me. Because I don't see the Eagles losing too many games because of Mark Sanchez having to play. I do, however, see a potential game or two being lost because the defense is softened so much just from the loss and the intelligence of someone like DeMeco Ryans. So I wouldn't be surprised if Carolina pulls out a victory. I don't think they should, but it wouldn't fucking stun me. Because I think that defense is going to need time to adjust without their quote-unquote captain there. And, people, and I think a lot of people are underestimating the importance of DeMeco Ryans on there. Like, he may not be like a big, blitz sack leader or anything like that as far as linebackers go, and he may not be in on every tackle. But he was the glue of that defense. He was the guy that held everything together, the guy that everyone looked up to on that defense. He was their defensive leader. And he's gone. And that concerns me. And that concerns me for the rest of the year, because this guy's probably never going to play a game again. It's the second time he tore his ACL, and he's on the next year would be the final year of his contract. This injury is going to take almost 2 years alone to heal. And it's a shame he has to go out on such a sour note. By the way, props to the Texans crowd and both the players of the Texans and the Eagles that went up to DeMeco, because they knew that was all she wrote for him. And he made his bones in the league playing in Houston, so that crowd knew exactly who that was and how to appreciate them, how to appreciate him. And they gave him very nice applause. And you can just tell even by some of the reactions of the people in the crowd that even though it was the other team's guy, that was someone that they cheered for a number of years. Anyway, the Eagles should win this game, better win this game, and they better win it running the fucking shit out of the ball. And it doesn't have to be Shady McCoy getting the ball 30 plus times. Polk is turning out to be what looks like a big smash mouth, love that fucking contact type running back. Fuck him. Run him at any safety that flanks over to get him on the outside. Just fucking run him. He's got to get more touches. He's got to get at least 5 to 10 touches every game. Same with Sproles. Sproles should be, frankly, 10 plus touches. Just little screen passes, little dink and duck type passes. Get him in the slot more. That guy is so fucking tough to tackle. He's probably one of the toughest people to tackle in this league. Because he runs right into you, gets in the grasp, and just bounces right off. I don't even understand how he does it. He's just fully in the grasp and he's free. And he's getting another 20 yards running around. Anyway. Run the fucking ball, Chip. Run the fucking ball. And frankly, Sanchez needs games like this to not have to rely on him. And you never know, you force him to make too many passes, and then you start getting the Sanchez that is the error-prone Sanchez that we all saw in the Jets. We all know how that went. I know, Mr. Butt Fumble. I haven't heard that enough this week. Someone please type that in the comments, because I forgot all about Butt Fumble until everyone brought it up this week. It's amazing how it just slipped out of my mind. Anyway, go Eagles. They should win this game. But as I said, I'm scared about what the future holds for this team as far as the defense goes, because it could literally all fall apart because things changed dramatically once DeMeco Ryans got hurt last week. Now, Tony Romo. I'm making this as a part of this video because it kind of just runs hand in hand as far as like the rivalry thing goes, and me as an Eagles fan who appreciates a good rivalry. In Dallas, I feel, is the biggest rivalry between the Eagles and another team in my lifetime. John Shango, a guy who makes videos about the Dallas Cowboys, he made a video earlier this week, and it really put things into perspective, because I've been the type of person, like especially going into that Thanksgiving game, I want it to be Romo on the field. I don't want to see the Philadelphia Eagles versus Josh Whedon and the Cowboys. Fuck that shit. No one wants to see that shit. Not that it's a gimme win or anything like that if Whedon's in the game. I'm not saying that, oh, I'd rather it be Whedon because it's obviously an easier thing to be. I obviously wanted to see Tony Romo. And what Shango said in his video earlier this week to put things into perspective is that, is the whole competition and the risk-reward really worth it right now? Because Tony Romo is playing with 2 fractures in his back, basically because he just wants to compete, and there's a big proverbial monkey on his back. And that monkey is that he has never won the ultimate gold medal prize, what have you, on the Dallas Cowboys. And Jerry Jones wants him to win. Tony Romo himself wants him to win. And I'm not going to sit here and say Tony Romo has ever been a pussy in his career, because if there's anything he hasn't been, it sure as hell hasn't been a pussy. The guy wants to play through the pain. And Shango said is like, this guy's a father. He has a kid that's 2 years old. You have to really start considering, do you want to be able to take care of your kid in the future post-football? Because, you're looking at a guy who at best has, if he doesn't get completely debilitated via injury, has maybe 3-4 seasons left at best. What are you going to do with life after football? And it really got me thinking, because people like myself that drive the rivalry and just amp up these big games, like, oh, I can't wait till Thanksgiving. Like, how many times have I said that this year? I personally would feel part and parcel responsible. Granted, I'm not going to lose any fucking sleep or anything like that. And I'm now to the point that I'm fearing that something really bad, I just have a really bad feeling about Tony Romo playing. And the fact that he's willing just to risk potential life and limb for a quote-unquote game. I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, just calm down, dude. Anyone, no matter how healthy you are, you can be a rookie that's the slimmest, healthiest guy on the field, and you fall the wrong way on the ground, or someone has an elbow sticking up and you fall on them, you could be paralyzed or anything like that. But what I'm getting at is, I get all that can happen on, any given play, something horrific could happen. But with Tony Romo, you're looking at a guy who's already had back surgery, who already has multiple fractures in his back that he's willing to play on with this Sunday. You have to say to yourself, should someone like this really be playing? Like Shango said, have we heard from a doctor yet that is saying, yeah, it's a good idea for him to go out and play? We've heard Jerry Jones talk. We've heard Tony Romo say he wants to compete. I mean, would a doctor really give the okay for this? Because at the end of the day, hey, he's not completely debilitated with this injury. He's playing with pain. It's just that he's more susceptible to severe, potentially catastrophic injury. And when I thought back to that Monday Night Football game, when forget the linebacker who blitzed on the Redskins, that put that knee in his back, and you saw Tony Romo on the ground, and I thought back to that, and I was like, what if Tony just didn't get up and just didn't walk again? How would you feel as a fan? Like, how would I feel as a fan? Because, I've wanted to see this rivalry continue on just for the sake of my entertainment. And that this guy could potentially, be barely able to take care of his kid and wife after this. It really is something to think about, and it got me thinking. I know this video is droned on and on, but it's to the point now where I don't want to see Tony Romo play. And it's not out of fear of oh, I don't want the Dallas Cowboys to make the playoffs and advance farther than the Eagles or anything like that. It's just that it's getting to the point where seeing Tony Romo play almost comes off as selfish on his part and greedy on our parts as fans wanting to see someone like that compete. Because at the end of the day, is it really worth it to be that much of a risk of catastrophic injury to take to the field Anyway, something to think about. I got nothing but respect for Tony Romo and his career. You know, I say things in like the heat of rivalry and shit like that and say you should get, you know, bent over and fucked in his pussy and shit like that. But at the end of the day, he's still a human being. Anyway, something to think about, something I wanted to end this video with, and I've gone on long enough. As always, have a good day, a better tomorrow. Fuck the Dallas Cowboys, but I'd rather they get fucked with Whedon on the field. Take care, guys.